Hi everyone, it's Snow Daze again, and we are just about to watch episode 4. You might have noticed on my channel that I do not have an episode 2 reaction. That is because I recorded it, I put it on my editor and whatnot, and then my laptop died, taking the recording with it, so I lost the recording and I was so upset. I didn't even just lose that one, I also lost an analysis of the intro, and now I feel like it's too late to post or redo that one, I should say, since I lost the recording, because now everything that I said is already coming true, and there's this whole thing of like, I don't know, I probably won't even bother with that anymore, but so hopefully this one's going to stick around. I'm happy I kept episode 3's reaction because, my goodness, that was a lot to take in. So I'm excited to kind of continue. I should also mention, again, I'm still watching my parents' cat, so if she comes meowing in and out, I am sorry. She is very vocal when it comes to wanting her food. So let's start watching because I am just so excited to see where this goes from here. If any little theories I came up with might be on the right track.
Salem can't be killed. You all heard her too, right?
Killed? Well, she said defeated, technically.
There was so much you hadn't told us. How could you think that was okay?
It's nice to finally get some emotions from Ozpin.
What is your plan to defeat Salem?
You.
Don't have one.
At least some honesty. Oh my gosh. Sucker punch a kid, why don't you?
I was cursed.
Oh.
I gave
my
my
baby
life to you because you gave me a place in this world. I thought I was finally doing some good.
But you are.
Meeting you is the worst luck of my life.
Oh my god. Oh, that is heartbreaking, because then this will go into the intro where he starts drinking to cover his pain again.
Maybe you're right.
Drawn into the darkness once again. Yeah.
What happened?
Poor Oscar.
He's gone.
That bastard! Tell him we're not done yet!
No, this is different. He's gone. It's like he's locked himself deep inside my head. Our head.
Oh no, did he just seriously just abandon everyone?
I hate this. I want it to stop.
He just left us?
What are we gonna do now?
Enough!
Yeah, Maria.
Move on. It'll be dark before we know it, and every one of you is spewing negativity. There's a trail over there. Trails usually lead somewhere.
Lady, I don't know who you think you are, but
No buts!
I like
I
her.
understand that you're upset. Honestly, I'm still coming to terms with the fact that this is humanity's second time around. But if we don't move, we die. And I'll be damned if I've lived this long just to die out here in the cold.
Good point.
No, she's right.
Mhm.
Come on.
Gather all the dust. Yeah, and this was also part of like the trailer, starting to walk.
I'm just going to be another one of his lives, aren't I?
Yeah.
Of course not. You're your own person.
Don't lie to him, Ruby.
Oh,
You're
Crow.
better than that.
This is definitely getting a little bit more serious. I like it. I like the new tone. Salem. So an airship, that looks like Atlesian technology, so no, that's a Mistral one actually. That's a Mistral ship because of the fins. Yep, so they just come back from the fall of Haven. Oh, Tyrion. Okay, we get to
Welcome back.
see the new tail. Oh, I knew it was going to be robotic.
Let's go.
So I was right that Watts made him a robotic tail.
Speaking of which, where is our fall maiden?
Oh, don't even mention that to Emerald.
Emerald, come on.
Don't tell me something happened to her.
Oh, she's gonna break herself.
I will cut off more than just your tail.
Oh.
Careful, little girl. Cinder isn't here to protect you anymore.
Back off, freak.
Oh, don't misunderstand. I am in mourning just as you.
Oh,
Because
God.
it appears you failed our queen.
Did Emerald's
That
blade hit
is
his cheek?
A tragedy.
Huh. Yeah, I don't blame Emerald for being somewhat creeped out. He's psycho. But I love him.
I would like you to explain to me how it is you failed so spectacularly.
The Fauna's militia split our forces.
Stop.
Oh, yep, she's low-key pissed off.
Let me rephrase the question. Who is responsible for your defeat?
I take full responsibility.
Oh.
But that wouldn't be fair now, would it? We
Oh,
all
Salem.
know who's truly to blame.
I don't.
Dragging him down to hell. God.
Emerald. I want you to tell me whose fault this was.
Cinder and her own arrogance, but she can't Emerald even admit that to someone she cares about.
Cinder!
Oh, she did.
Failed because of Cinder.
That's right. I want you to understand that failure. I want you to understand why Cinder must be left to toil in her isolation until she redeems herself.
You mean
She's alive.
And they can't go find her.
How could you know that?
Are you questioning our divine savior?
Well, if she died, the Maiden's powers would have been passed on, but clearly they didn't pass on.
Of course not. Forgive me.
It's important not to lose sight of what drives us. Love, justice, reverence. But the moment you put your desires before my own, they will be lost to you. This isn't a threat. This is simply the truth. The path to your desires is only found through me. And so we must press on. The sword under Vacuo's academy, Shade.
Ma'am,
The sword is in Vacuo, just like the symbol of the town,
I have
or the academy.
more to report. Crow and the children are taking the lamp to Atlas.
Ooh.
Not if I can help it.
And they're being led by Ozpin.
Ozma.
So soon?
He's the only man with a chance of getting through to Ironwood. If that happens...
Salem. She's mad.
Leave. Your Grace,
So she's going to go after him herself. That's what's probably we saw in the intro with the Grimhands that just went all over Hazel. She's going after them herself now. Because this is the same house that I think once had their family. Like, at least the architecture looks similar, like with the windows.
Doesn't look like this is gonna let up.
I just want to get this stupid relic to Atlas.
Let's hope we don't have to walk all the way there.
I thought trails led somewhere.
Do you have nothing better to do than to harass a defenseless old lady?
Everyone quiet.
Good point.
Do you hear that?
He's taking it out on someone else. Sounds like an old weather vane. Yep. The house. Oh, creaky door. That'll do it. Looks like an old town. Or farm.
Well,
Brunswick.
thing happened today.
It looks abandoned. It's still better than this.
Come on. I think we could all use some rest.
Yeah, Brunswick is a very popular town name in my neck of the woods, which is why I chuckled a little bit. So this one was a little bit of a step back because we were spoiled a little bit. We got a couple like really long episodes to start off the volume, so now we're toning it back down a bit. So it's really interesting to see how everyone's absorbing it. Of course, Ozpin is like having his angsty, I'm going to lock myself in my room kind of reaction, so leaving Oscar all alone to deal with the fallout. And he himself is going through his own existential crisis, like, why do I exist? Am I just going to be one of your lives, or am I someone different? You have Crow spiraling into his own self-doubt, because the only reason he thought he was worthy of something because Ozpin gave him a purpose to fight Salem. And if there was no defeating Salem, then what was his purpose? So he's feeling lied to, and if we kind of looked at the intro of how he was drinking from his flask and then the arms pull him down, that could be very much symbolic of him falling into his own depression again, finding out like his reasons for living and fighting aren't very good reasons anymore. We have RWBY, who's also pretty forlorn and just trying to press on with any type of hope she might have. Yang is just plain mad at everyone, so she's low-key trying to take it out on little snips at people, but is understandable because she doesn't know what's happening next. We see that Salem is rightly pissed off that her attack on Haven did not go as planned, and that clearly she knows Cinder is the reason why it all failed because of her own arrogance, which is, I find it interesting that even though Cinder is such a powerful pawn, she is still willing to let Cinder toil in Mistral until she's worthy enough to come back to her. So which tells me there's some sort of extra loyalty there that she knows Cinder will eventually come back. So definitely going to probably send her through her own problems, because we know of the little Miss Muffet character with the spiders searching around for RWBY, that they're also holding on to information because they're trying to find out if anyone's looking for Cinder. They're going to definitely play a big role into making Cinder pay her own price for her arrogance. The only thing I'm really, like, upset about, I guess, is that we still have not seen any Ty and Raven. After the post-credit scene, they led us to believe there's going to be some huge confrontation and emotional kind of reconnection, and we got nothing. Like, it's been radio silence, and this is episode 4. So, I'm still waiting for that to come back involved, because they definitely made it seem like we were going to hear more about that. So, I guess I'm still going to hold hope, but at this point, I don't know where it's going to fit in with this volume, you know? Because everything seems about a lot of flashbacks and stuff, and maybe a flashback about how Stark came to be, because we have Crow questioning his own reasons for existing, and that would definitely tie into the backstory of Summer and Ty and Raven and how everyone came to separate and go their own ways. So maybe that's how they kind of tie back together. Also seeing how mad Salem is at the end of her own scene where she burst open all the windows, it makes me think that they're going to send everyone to Vacuo over the sword. And then she herself is going to follow after Ruby and Ozpin to get her own personal revenge, which is what I think happened with all the arms in the intro coming after Ruby. We saw Salem just do the exact same thing to Hazel. So it makes sense that she's probably going to be in her own form, causing her own little problems for them. Or, you know, it could be just all symbolic, but I think it was only symbolic for Crow. The one with Ruby is pretty accurate to what's going to probably happen when they're underground trying to get to Atlas in some way. But, yeah, this is very interesting to watch the tone slowly get darker as they're losing hope. But they just need one thing to give them hope back. And I mentioned this in a theory on RWBY Amino that I posted earlier, like last two weeks ago by the time this goes up, that what's going to happen is that they cannot kill Salem. They just confirmed that in this episode. Death is not an option for Salem because she is very much immortal. So the way to defeat her might not be death at all, but instead removing the grim part of her soul. Because the reason that she corrupted as much as she did was because of the grim side after she pulled herself out of the pool. She was a being of eternal life with a taste for destruction. If you remove that taste of destruction, she might be able to regain enough humanity to stop her own pointless crusade to end humanity. If she can just gain that humanity back. And I think their best chance of doing that is for Salem to get doused in the water of the fountain that the God of Light was standing in. That one with the beautiful tree, the yellow field, the one where humanity was wiped out. That fountain that they stood on, if she can touch it again, the same one that gave her immortality. If you think of dualities being able to cancel out, no, she was thinking duality as eternal life from this pool, eternal death in the darkness pool. She would die that way. But instead, maybe it's something with darkness being a power of eternal destruction, which is what the pool was, and the light is a power of endless creation, which it recreates life in her every time she dies. So what if that is what can cancel out? So if she's doused in that water, the grim part of her soul will be cleaned, like a parasite that was eating at her emotions, finally wiped away, and she's back to the one Salem that we saw before the fall, like the human side. Sure, her human side is not perfect, but I think it's way better than her with grim powers. So that's what I'm thinking. And it also kind of lines up with the theory of the Wicked Witch of the West. If you think about how the story of the Wizard of Oz ends, Dorothy literally tosses a bucket of water onto the witch and she melts away. So what if that's the same thing that happens with her? Fountain of life water doused on Salem melts away the grim, leaving only the tormented human side of her that can finally feel regret. And with that side of her soul redeemed, then it's possible that they can finally find peace for humanity, reunite the relics, and get the gods' approval that everything with humanity is redeemable. I think that's what they're going to head toward, because they finally decided, Salem, there's no death in her future. It's impossible with the backstory they gave her. If they find a way to kill her, I'm actually going to be kind of mad, because the one thing I hate is when writers give a set rule and then they backpedal on it thinking they're doing this grand reveal, and it just feels cheap, because you led us all up down a different path, which we could come up with so many great ideas, but it feels cheap to go back on an idea that you've already gave to us, you know? But that is only my opinion. I love the episode so far, how everyone is definitely feeling downtrodden, that negative emotions will definitely come back to haunt them at this abandoned Brunswick farm. So I am very much interested, because Brunswick is, as I mentioned, a town in the region I am in. It's a very common name, not to mention the area. If you look at the trees and the snow, I could look outside right now. Like, literally my backyard looks like this. So I'm kind of feeling at home. So, but yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm really excited for the next episode, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Tell me what you think in the below. How do you think Crow is going to react with this new realization? What do you think Salem is going to do now? Is there a way to defeat Salem, in a sense, that is not killing her, because essentially that's impossible? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will catch you all in the next one. I will see you guys all later. Stay frosty, and goodbye.